Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Evil Genius's Idra versus Evil Genius's Axslav here on Terminus Ray. Idra and Axslav, Axslav probably one of my more favorite players. He did really well in the Machinima Realm Invitational a couple months back, essentially going 10-0. If you guys haven't seen those games, they're on Machinima's channel and my channel as well. I think if you look for MRI and Crota, you will be able to find those. But Axslav playing some brilliant games in that clan war. Now Idra spawning as the green Zerg, meanwhile Axslav spawning as the blue Protoss on Terminus Ray. And whenever it's a map on Terminus Ray, I always need to make sure there are destructible rocks here. And give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, anyways, moving in, a probe now scouting out as well, and a little bit of backstory. Both players are from Evil Genius. Idra, perhaps one of the more well-known players from Evil Genius. The only other player who I believe is as well-known as Idra right now would be Huck, the most recent addition to Evil Geniuses. Yes, Liquid Huck is now Evil EG Huck. Somehow it doesn't quite look right. But then again, yeah, in the world of professional esports, I think doing good trades does have a good benefit for both players. So Idra and Huck will be able to practice alongside Puma in a house somewhere to be determined in Korea. And we'll see if whether or not two foreigners plus a foreigner plus one non-foreigner in Korea will be able to help grow esports even further. Axslav, more well-known from, I believe, a Warcraft 3 background, a very, very well-known Warcraft 3 player, as a front door being built over here. Interesting front door, and also building a second pylon here. This is something that I wish a lot more Protoss players did when they were trying to do that fast expand, instead of going for that very, very early nexus where you can see after like a pylon and then a nexus. I don't know is he going for a fast expansion? Anyways, normally you see a pylon and then a nexus. I really like to see that forge come in first, just in case your opponent is trying to go for a fast 6 pool on you. A lot of the times in a lot of games, such as on Tall Dream Altar, if you go pylon nexus and your opponent opens up with just a 6 pool or 7 pool, you get absolutely overrun with probes, and there's not much you can really do. This one probe now trying to run away. It will get destroyed. It looks like a cannon will be added here. That cannon in a very nice position will be able to offer protection in multiple locations. And do the Zerglings know where to go? The Zerglings not quite sure yet. Gonna perhaps run across the north side first. Activate some Zelnaga watchtowers. It's gonna be very, very smart for Axslav to sit in the center portion of the map, and now probes coming off the mineral line. The probes perhaps expecting Zerglings to come in, and now going to try to swarm in right here, and the probes are just not have anything to worry about for a little while longer. One photon cannon, another pylon being added, and Axslav going to be sitting absolutely pretty as Idra walks up the ramp, sees nothing, and realizes that he went to the wrong location, buying plenty of time now, as Axslav going to have his nexus up much faster than his opponent is going to have his hatchery, and now perhaps be able to power probe even further. One pylon, a gateway now being added as well. That one Zergling realizing that he cannot make his way through a very nice just line of a building in between these two locations here. You can see no way for a Zergling to sneak by at all, and now Axslav can pretty much mine in peace for at least a little while longer. Zerglings, however, now trying to run by here and going to get a little bit of damage in, and now the Zerglings with that metabolic boost able to get in a lot of damage, and now as those probes are trying to run down the ramp, it looks like more, and a photon cannon now going to be added as well. The probes are being very smart, trying to stack up on top of each other first. This one pylon, however, the weakest link here, as the probes are going to perhaps try to engage what is going to be happening as this one pylon taking a lot of damage so far. The probes fighting against those Zerglings. The probes, however, taking a lot of damage here. And Idra, knowing the calculation and knowing the speeds, now taking a strong economic lead as 10 workers have already been killed. The photon cannon now up, though, and but the damage has already been dealt. The Zerglings may try to destroy this one assimilator over here. The photon cannon not within range, so he is going to lose a little bit of gas as a Zealot now gonna perhaps try to finish off the rest of these Zerglings. The Zealot gonna make his way straight off over here. This one probe, or I think the probes are just trying to come off, and the Assimilator, however, does have 900 hit points between shields and also with that +1 armor. So it's going to be a little bit of a difficulty in trying to take it down. It looks like it will get taken down, though, and now those Zerglings are backing off once again. This one Assimilator may get destroyed as well, and yes, it is going to get attacked once again. The Zerglings, however, trying to back off. One Zealot going to make its way in, and as this Zealot tries to chase after those units, there are 4 Zerglings. 4 Zerglings can destroy a Zealot with only 1 Zergling loss if you are very, very good at micro, which I do know that Idra is very, very good. We'll see what's going to be happening here as both sides are just trying to get more and more probes, and we can see Idra now sitting up to 44 drones. Idra also establishing his 3rd base, and the macro of Idra is simply going to be too much. A new Assimilator has been warped in. The Zealots are still trying to chase down this one sentry. The Photon Cannon going to get in some action as well, as this one Photon Cannon may be able to finish off the rest of those Zerglings. Yes, able to do so, and the threat has been resolved. But Axslav, who had such a strong opening, unable to stop 12 Zerglings, 10 to 12 Zerglings from running in, and that was all it took, as now Idra taking the advantage. We are now upgrading the tier 2, getting more gas as well, and now going into that all-important Roach Warren. 2 Zealots running to activate this Naga Watchtower here. The Zerglings being smart enough to know that the superior numbers in those Zealots too much to handle, as they are now backing off. Another Nexus has been established down by Axslav already, as he needs to figure out what he wants to do in the mid-game. He's already slightly behind. You can take a look at the food count, 74 to 78 versus 56 over 68. He does have his cybernetics core, but he doesn't have any of his harassment buildings, either the robotics facility for warp prisms or Stargate for Phoenix and Void Ray harassment. So with a very, very limited number of options right now, all Axslav can do is hope to macro up a large army and win in a straight up engagement, as the Zerglings are now once again trying to run in, perhaps going to be able to run by one poor probe, getting surrounded there, and now being able to back off once again. These 2 Zealots holding the Zelnaga Tower, able to see all of these Zerglings run by, but not able to do very, very much more than that. These rocks will slowly get chipped away. You can see that the level 1 weapons upgrade allowing these Zerglings to deal a lot more damage, upgraded from 2 to 3 damage, 50% more damage against these rocks, as these rocks will eventually fall. More Zerglings still being added. Idra now trying to slowly do some creep spread as well, as roaches are now being added in addition to the pneumatized carapace and also the glio reconstitution. A far hatchery also being added by Idra as well. What sentries are now trying to push their way in, able to capture some of those Zerglings there, as a probe or a pylon now being warped in. Axslav still very, very much behind, and he's unable to really cause any harassment. And every minute this game goes longer, the better it will be for Idra, especially as the roaches are now going to shut down these Zealots over here. The Zealots are on hold position. They wanted to make sure that they didn't get surrounded by Zerglings in trying to engage, but instead being forced to deal with the range attacks of these roaches. These rocks will get destroyed now. And army composition, you can see how much larger it is just in terms of minerals. But Axslav still has a larger gas army, so we'll see if he's going to be able to turn that into any impressive micro sentries, able to shut down Zerglings and roaches. But with another macro hatch coming into play from Idra, also Idra with a very, very good Overlord spread will be able to see any harassment before it gets anywhere near his bases, and that is going to be huge. A Stalker now tries to warp in, but unable to really fly by. You can see a Twilight Council is added. I don't know, no Dark Templar, no Dark Templars, no Templar Archives yet, so no Psystorm. I don't even believe Colossi will be able to warp in or be trained, as we are now going into Hive Tech at the 12-minute mark of this game. Idra's macro just simply perfect at this stage. And now waiting to get into 200 food. You can see 173 food versus 136. Idra able to constantly spend all of his money, his income in the 2,500 a minute, and still able to do such a great job, as Idra now starting to transfer drones into this location here. 88 drones versus 77 probes. Overlord also spreading creep over here. Not quite sure what that's about, as the Zerglings are trying to back off. You can see a large number of Stalkers and Sentries once again moving out in the center here with a photon cannon, just making sure that there is, I guess, making sure that there are no burrow play at all. Spire now being added from Idra, most likely to get some Corruptors just in case there are any Colossi. The Roaches are deciding to back off. Stalkers are going to try to engage here. Both sides just really trying to flank the Zerglings, trying to get a little bit of scouting information. Will be able to run into this base. There is one photon cannon here. I don't know if the Zerglings will be able to perhaps surround this one photon cannon. No, quickly just going after all of those probes. The probes are getting destroyed as an engagement now happening here. The force fields actually slowing down as the infestors are going to be able to just cast mass fungal growth onto all of those sentries and those stalkers. You can see all of these units in such a horrible position there. It's like shooting stalkers in a barrel, but there's so many of these force fields have been placed down. The swarm will be coming in, and I believe Axslav will be forced to say GG here, as Idra now moving in with a rather large army. No force fields, no size storm, no real way to deal massive amounts of damage to the swarm of units here. Infestors and Zerglings are both very low hit point units in and of themselves, but you need a massive number of, you need a lot of just area effect damage in order to deal and fight back. You can see now Axslav trying to warp in a large number of zealots, but there's the GG from Axslav, and Axslav leaves the game. So Idra taking this game pretty easily, even though he did do a very aggressive expansion attempt against Idra and was able to establish it. Idra, all he did was take down 10 probes, and with 10 probes, knew that he had the economic advantage back. He was able to establish up his third base here, macro, get up a lot of macro hatches, even to hide an expansion over here as well. And with that, Idra running off of so many bases at the 15-minute mark in the game, able to just take it. Idra so strong, so good if you do not harass him effectively early on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Evil Genius's Idra and Axslav here on Terminus.